Hello, this is Steve Rowe, Executive Director. Today is Wednesday, December 2nd. We are now into the nine-month mark of our COVID battle, and we're holding strong and optimistic about a resolution, hopefully in the near future. A number of things that I want to provide updates for, but first of all, I want to thank all of our staff members who on Thanksgiving Day served over 300 meals to our residents. That's at least 75% of our population here at Oak Knoll who had a meal. I know we delivered to Oak Knoll East, we delivered to One University Place residents, and we did 3 seatings in the Oak Room and served assisted living residents in the studio and the Hope Dining Room. And it's like we had just a lot of people come in on Thanksgiving Day to participate and help out dining services, who did a phenomenal job. So thank you to everybody who was involved with making Thanksgiving, although it was different this year for all of us, making it as positive a day as we could possibly hope for. So thanks to each of you who were involved. I want to talk a little bit about testing progress, how things are going here. We consciously chose for the 2 weeks after Thanksgiving that we were going to test our employees 3 times a week. We are in a phase right now where we're not required to test residents because we have not had any positive employee cases in at least 3 weeks, and I think it might be 4 weeks. So we are testing employees on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'm happy to report that Monday's tests, a couple of days ago, we had no positive employees coming back from Thanksgiving. So hopefully that will hold true again with the testing that we're doing today, and we will continue to test 3 times a week through the end of next week for all of our employees. The case counts in Johnson County are on a slow decline currently. We reached a peak back on November 16th, and at that point, the average daily case count, the 14-day average that we look at, was over 144 new cases per day over that previous 2-week period. That has been trending down now for about 2 weeks, and we're down to an average new daily case count for the 2-week period as at 82 cases per day. So it's certainly trending in the right direction. It's still a lot of activity in the county, and I don't know how many people paid attention to the messages about not gathering for Thanksgiving. I know most of you did pay attention, and I know that a lot of our employees definitely did Thanksgiving differently as well. But we'll see over the next week or so if we get a rebound and a new surge in cases following Thanksgiving, or if that downward trend continues. The positivity rate, when I looked it up today for Johnson County, was down to 11.9% of the tests are positive. That's an important number because if it gets down below 10%, then we would only be required legally or by regulation to test our employees on a weekly basis. Again, we will continue to test for the 2 weeks following Thanksgiving 3 times a week, even if the case or if the positivity rate got down to, say, 9%. But after that, if it was below 10%, we only need to test once per week. And if it gets back down below 5%, which it hasn't since the regulation required our testing of employees, but the 5% is the threshold where we would only need to test once per month. So hopefully at some point we will get there. Vaccine progress. Vaccines have certainly been in the news recently. Seem to be a couple of viable vaccines that are going through the approval process right now. The public health people in Johnson County and in the state of Iowa and across the country are preparing for the rollout of this vaccine. We learned yesterday that long-term care healthcare workers and long-term care residents would be in the very first wave of receiving the vaccine. What that means for our people in independent living at this point, I am not sure. We've heard different things. I believe that Johnson County would like to include all of our residents within that first wave of vaccine, but I've heard other things, that the definition of a long-term care resident is people that would be in the licensed areas, so our licensed nursing home and our certified assisted living area. So we will see how that plays out, and what quantity of vaccines we receive. At this point, we anticipate getting enough vaccines to do all of our staff and the residents in those areas. And if we get enough that we can do all of our population, including independent living residents, we will certainly do that as well. More to come on that front. I am cautiously optimistic that by the end of this month we will all have received the first dosage of this vaccine. It seems to be a two-shot cycle for it. And my understanding is we would get the first dose and then 4 weeks later get the second dose. So hopefully by the end of this month, and maybe a little bit sooner, we should have received that first dosage. Just want to remind everybody of ways to stay informed. If you're watching this video, obviously this is one of the ways that we're trying to communicate with all of you and with your family members. So if you can encourage them to get onto the Oaknall app and go to the videos section, that's where you're finding this particular video, most of you. But there are other ways to be informed as well. And if you have family members who are interested in trying to understand what's happening here, you can direct them to our website, oaknall.com. There is a COVID-19 tab on our website, and all of the family updates that we've been providing to family members of our health center residents and assisted living residents, those are all posted in chronological order with the most recent at the top. And we've been communicating to families typically twice per week, on a Tuesday and on a Friday. So by the next day, that is typically up on our website, and you can encourage your families who are interested in staying informed, or yourselves if you want to see how we're communicating with the loved ones of the residents who we're caring for in the health center. Also related to communication, sorry for that delay, that's okay. I just want to remind you again that if there is any breaking news and something that's truly critical and important that we get out to everybody, we will communicate those items in writing to you and get those into your mailboxes as quickly as we possibly can. So again, our goal, transparent communication, let you know what we know as soon as we know it, and get it out there to all of you. The last thing I want to talk about today is just apartment availability. I've told you before, you are the very best marketers that we have. And if you know of anybody who is considering Oaknall in the next 6 months to a year, now is a really good time, because we have a number of spaces available and some larger apartments available than we typically have had to offer to brand new resident households. There are currently 2 smaller apartments in our Spring Street building. They're both 1-bedroom apartments. We have 2 smaller apartments in the Central building. One is there are 2 different sizes of 1-bedroom apartments, but both certainly livable spaces that a number of households are currently happily living in right now. We have 2 slightly larger apartments. They're both 2-bedroom, 2-bath spaces, and these are the largest apartments that we've been able to offer to anybody on the wait list for probably about 3 years now. One of them is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in the Benton Street building, and the other is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in the Court building. Both of those are available. They've recently been renovated. They show very well. And if anybody is interested, we would love to find the match for those spaces. We also continue to have some apartments available at East. They are all 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartments that we have available, and they're actually the largest spaces that we have anywhere within the Oaknall system right now. The ones that we have available are 1,385 square feet, which is actually larger than almost any apartment here on the main campus. So if people are looking for space, that is the best alternative. And the last opportunities, we will have 2 additional households relocating from One University Place apartments over to Oaknall East this spring. And so some nice spaces at One University Place will also be becoming available here in the next few months. I think that's everything I want to talk about today. Kind of a quick update, but thank you for all of your support, your words of encouragement. We're getting closer, hopefully, to the end of this pandemic with the vaccine. Again, cautiously optimistic that we should see the first dosage before the end of this month. And we will keep you informed. Take care.